Good evening and welcome to this video. I am pretty sleep deprived today. I only got 4 hours of sleep, and then I had work, and then I had class, and then I did some filming. So suffice it to say, I am not at my most fluent right now. But I just wanted to talk about some recent and upcoming book releases that I'm really excited for. These are either going to be from the past 8 months of 2021 or they're going to be coming up in the next few months of the year, and then I might even have some that branch into 2022, super early months of 2022. But I just wanted to go over them because I'm really excited for them. I can't wait for them to come out, or can't wait to get my hands on them, and I hope maybe I'll introduce you to some that you didn't know were coming up. I have my Goodreads list pulled up here. If you see me looking down, that's what I'm going to be looking at. Kicking it off with a bang. The first book on here is An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan. This is the author of The Astonishing Color of After, which really took the world by storm back when it was released. It is described in its Goodreads blurb as being Romeo and Juliet meets Chinese mythology in this magical novel. The next book is Mrs. Death by Selena Godin. This book was released at the very beginning of the year in January, and it looks so good. I love stories that kind of include some narration from death. Obviously, first that comes to mind is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, but this one is about a man named Wolf Williford who becomes acquainted with Mrs. Death, who is the Grim Reaper, and she is sharing stories with him of people's deaths and, you know, her journey as this Grim Reaper figure who's, you know, bringing death to people and what she's seen and done and stuff like that. So I think it's gonna be really quirky, but I'm expecting good things. The next book on here is Call Me Elizabeth Lark by Melissa Colasanti. This one is this one came out on March 9th of 2021, and this one is about a girl who is on the run after she accidentally kills her abusive husband, and she's on the run with her child. And she happens to kind of stumble into the life of a woman whose daughter has been missing for 20 years. And I guess there's some type of a resemblance because the woman immediately thinks that this is her daughter. And it's kind of a convenient escape for the main character, Mira. So she kind of takes on this role of being this woman's missing daughter, and I think it's going to be really good. It gives me vibes of another book that I read, Only Daughter by Anna Snogstra. Same trope of like a girl who is kind of in a bad situation and just kind of stumbles upon this opportunity to play the character of a missing girl to escape the situation that she's in. And it was honestly still to date one of my favorite thrillers, so I'm hoping that this one kind of lives up to that. Hopefully I haven't put too high expectations on it because of that, but I am excited. The next one is The Mirror Season by Anna Marie McLemore. Anna Marie McLemore is the author of When the Moon Was Ours and Wild Beauty, Blanca y Roja, and a lot of other great books. And their writing is just like so lyrical and beautiful, and I'm really excited to read a book from them. This is about two teens who are both sexually assaulted at the same party, and they kind of know different amounts of information about what happened to them. I think one character might know more about the assault of the other character than he does, which puts them in the difficult situation of trying to determine how much to share, and would that information be helpful or would that be more traumatic. That's kind of what I've gathered from listening to other people's reviews. I think this is going to be an incredibly difficult book, but also incredibly important because it touches on the sexual assault of young men, which is really, really not talked about enough, and is a very noticeable blank space in the YA landscape, that there are not many, I won't say no, but not many books that cover that topic. I'm glad Anna Marie did something about it. The next one on my list is Sister Song by Lucy Holland. The cover of this one is really beautiful and is drawing me right in, but I can't deduce from this if this is like ancient times historical fiction or if this is gonna lean more towards like folklore, mythology type of a thing. I'm guessing that this is more like ancient British folklore. The next one is House of Holo by Crystal Sutherland. This book is about some sisters, and it seems like one of them's gone missing and they're trying to retrace her steps, but also at the same time kind of unravel their memories of what's been going on. Like, a lot of these I have vague amounts of information, but a lot of these descriptions are also very vague, so I'm working with what I have here. But it seems like it's going to be a little bit bizarre of a story, but I'm into it. I really like that cover. Next I have Near the Bone by Christina Henry. I'll read you the description on this one. Maddie can't remember a time before she and William lived alone on a mountain together. She must never make him upset, but when Maddie discovers the mutilated body of a fox in the woods, she realizes that they're not alone after all. There's something in the woods that wasn't there before, something that makes cries in the night, something with sharp teeth and claws. When three strangers appear on the mountaintop looking for the creature in the woods, Maddie knows that their presence will anger William. Terrible things happen when William is angry. My guess is that William mutilated the fox, but you tell me your guess down below. We'll see who's right, okay? The next book on my list is The Forest of Stolen Girls by June Her. It is about a girl whose father was the detective on some missing girl cases that were connected. There were 13 women who vanished, and he was the lead detective on it. But when he also goes missing near the forest where this all happened, she has to kind of get involved to try and figure out what happened to the girls as well as her father. This one is called The End of Men, and it is by Christina Sweeney Baird. Only men are affected by the virus. Only women have the power to save us all. The year is 2025, and a mysterious virus has broken out in Scotland. A lethal disease that seems to only affect men. When Dr. Amanda McLean reports this phenomenon, she is dismissed as hysterical. By the time her warning is heeded, it is too late. The world becomes alien, a woman's world. Sounds downright utopian to me. Am I right? Next. The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. Oh yeah. This is another one with like just an absolutely beautiful cover. 2021 covers have been some of the best covers I've ever seen. This is about two sisters who are living kind of separate lives in separate worlds. One of them has been trapped on an island and she doesn't remember where she is, how she got there. And then another one is living in like this beautiful eco city that is like the whole city is built around trying to save the environment and reduce waste and everything like that, reverse the effects of climate change. I'm excited to read it. I think it could go really, really well, but I also think it could get kind of preachy and be done incorrectly, so I'm interested to see whether I'll like this one or not. Ooh, yes. This one is called Yes Daddy by Jonathan Parks Ramage. I'm really excited to read this one if you couldn't tell. This is about a man who moves to New York City and he's looking to kind of kickstart his career as a playwright. But while he's there, he kind of gets thrown into the circles of, you know, rich, famous men in the city and stuff. And he meets an award-winning playwright and kind of just like gets immediately swept up into this world with him, and he gets invited back to the vacation home in the Hamptons. He goes and immediately starts noticing that all of the help there at this like mansion are young gay men, and they're all like covered in bruises. So I think this is going to be really dark and sinister. Dark, sinister, sugar daddy vibes. Next one I have on my list is An Emotion of Great Delight by Tahira Mafi. I read her book A Very Large Expansive Sea a few months ago, and this one is just screaming that it's gonna be like very similar. The plot is very similar, but it's definitely a plot that can be redone and reworked in a few different ways, so I'm not upset about that. But this is about a family who is living post 9/11. They are Muslim, and I can't find it in here, but I'm guessing that they are going to be Persian, just as the family in the other book was, just as Tahira Mafi is. And they are dealing with like the high political tension and Islamophobia, racism, and trying to navigate all this in, you know, a world post 9/11. Ooh. This one is The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed. In her forest-veiled pagan village, Evike is the only woman without power, making her an outcast clearly abandoned by the gods. The villagers blame her corrupted bloodline. Her father was a Yehuli man. I don't think I said that right. Yehuli man, one of the much-loathed servants of the fanatical king. When soldiers arrive from the Holy Order of Woodsman to claim a pagan girl for the king's blood sacrifice, Evike is betrayed by her fellow villagers and surrendered. I love blood sacrifice. else. But in all honesty, I've heard really good things about this. I am expecting good things. The next book on my list is Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. I've seen this book everywhere on like TikTok and stuff. I don't really know how to explain what this is about in like a succinct way, but it seems to be some like arranged marriage and like some Eastern influenced mythology, which I'm really all about. So this keeps cropping up on this list as well. I feel like this is the year of Asian and Asian American authors. Speaking of, here's another one. This is She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. This one has been compared and had parallels drawn to Mulan a bunch of times, and Mulan is my favorite Disney movie, so you need say no more on that. The next book on this list is The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. This one is about a 19-year-old girl who asks her mother to babysit for the night as she goes out on a date, and then she never returns. And I believe there's another perspective from a couple of years later looking back on the night. I'm sure it's going to be one of those, you know, one perspective is unfolding as it happens, and then the other is from a few years later, and just kind of the timelines merging to a point where we understand exactly what happened. I am really excited to read it, and Lisa Jewell is kind of like one of the queens of the thriller genre, so I'm sure it's going to be great. Okay, the next book I have here is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. The tagline, again, caught my eye right away. 6 friends, 1 college reunion, 1 unsolved murder. That really tells you everything you need to know. The Dead and the Dark by Courtney Gould. I haven't really seen anyone reviewing this one yet, but it looks to be some paranormal activity, so I'm really interested. The dark has been waiting for far too long, and it won't stay hidden any longer. Something is wrong in Snakebite, Oregon. Teens are disappearing, some turning up dead. The weather isn't normal, and all fingers seem to point to TV's most popular ghost hunters who have returned to town. Logan Ortiz Woodley, daughter of TV's Paraspectors, has never been to Snakebite before, but the moment she and her dad arrive, she starts to get the feeling that there's more secrets buried here than they originally let on. Sounds good. I love the cover. Okay, next one on the list is You've Reached Sam by Dustin Dow. I hope I said that right. This one I feel like is gonna make me cry buckets, literal buckets. It is about a boyfriend and girlfriend who are, you know, in high school, deeply in love, and the boyfriend ends up going over to Japan for the summer, and unfortunately something happens. I think there's some type of accident, and he ends up passing away, and his girlfriend is, you know, obviously devastated and dealing with the grief of this, but kind of in the middle of this, she gives his phone a call to just kind of hear his voicemail, hear his voice again, and he ends up picking up the phone. Not in a he's alive, something mysterious happened way, in a she somehow called back in time or called into the afterlife kind of a thing. And so she's kind of confronted with having the opportunity to properly say goodbye, and I think this book's going to be fantastic, but I am prepared to need some tissues for it. The next book on my list is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. This book kind of gives me like Ariadne and Poseidon vibes if it was set in Korea. It's about a girl whose village and surrounding villages are constantly getting flooded and experiencing hardships, and the villagers end up deciding to sacrifice someone to the sea god in atonement, and they choose her. But I'm really excited. I love some mythology based storytelling, so I'm excited to see what that brings. Next book on here is 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. This is the author of The Kind Worth Killing, 8 Perfect Murders. It's about 9 strangers who all get a letter from a complete stranger, and they don't know why they've received this, but they kind of figure out that they are all connected to each other in some way. And then shit hits the fan when they start getting picked off one by one, and they're all trying to figure out what the connection to each other is and what's going on and who did they piss off and all of this. So I think it's going to be really good. The last book I have on here is The Perfect Family by Robin Harding. This is another absolute powerhouse of a thriller author, but this is about a couple who are kind of the envy of their neighborhood. They're, super attractive. They have a lot of nice stuff. They have a beautiful home. They have really well-behaved children, and they kind of have just a perfect life, but things change when they start kind of being on the receiving end of some what seems to be harmless pranks at first. Their house getting egged and TP'd, stuff like that. It seems like harmless teenage pranks, but it quickly becomes more sinister, and they have to wonder who's behind this and what they know and what they're trying to get out of the situation. So I think it's going to be really good. Anyway, that is all the books that I have for right now. I'm sure I could scrounge up some more if you guys are interested. I am obviously in the really early stages of this channel, and feedback is not only welcome but strongly encouraged. Please tell me what it is that you'd like to see. If you'd like to see more videos like this, if you're interested in the books that I have on my to be read lists, and let me know down below what you are most excited for that's coming out in the last few months of 2021. Anyway, please do subscribe, comment, like this video, dislike this video, that also helps. Share it to any friends that love reading, and I will see you next Friday.